you're in roof sales and you find yourself reinventing your presentation every time you sit down at the table and you don't have a specific structure that you follow, I'm going to give you one in this video. It's going to be very simple. I call it the 4 Ps. There's 4 P words. So number 1 is problem. You want to sit down at the table. First, walk them through the problems you found on their roof, okay? Because the first question they're going to be thinking of after you got off their roof is, what did you find when you were up on the roof? What did you find when you were in the attic? Okay, so you want to answer that question first. What are the problems that you found up there? The next question that they're going to ask is, what are the solutions to those problems? Okay, how are you going to fix my roof so that these problems are no longer occurring? For example, if there's like sapping in the attic space, or if their attic space is overheating, how are you going to install more ventilation or provide a solution for them to keep that from happening? And why is that important? Okay, what is that solution going to allow the attic to do or the roof to do? Well, it's going to extend the life of it and get the full lifespan out of it, right? So problem, solution, we got that down. The next one, after you explain that process or that piece, is your process, okay? What are they going to expect when you're out here? How do you go about doing the work? The people who are going to come out, is there going to be a dumpster parked in their front yard? Is there going to be a delivery truck? When does that happen? What are they going to expect from your company while you're out here? Okay. Do you have a project manager on site? Are they going to be taking photos? Right. The next one is people. And this is where you dive into your company, what you're all about, why you're different, how many years you've been in business, the reviews potentially. And I would transition by asking them, hey, have you looked at our reviews at all? How much do you know about the company? And if they say, oh, not much, we were just calling down Google, you say, perfect, I'll walk you through everything. And so you're going to explain things, and don't just rattle them off, but also explain why they're important. Okay, so walk through the people aspect. If you have only in-house installers, that is a big plus for most homeowners. So you can say, hey, one thing that people really like about us is that we only use in-house installers, which that means that the people who are going to show up to install your roof are going to have our logo on their truck because they are licensed, bonded, insured underneath XYZ Roofing Company. And what that means for you is you're not going to get a Chuck in a truck, just some guy showing up who's going to be cheap labor. It's going to be low quality installation, right? So people, who is going to be on their roof is the question you're answering there. Okay. And then we're going to move into packages and warranties. So packages is the next one. Packages and warranties. So I'll typically do a good, better, best scenario, right? Unless it's a specific issue that we're solving for them, like a repair or something like that, right? Where there's really only one option for them. But typically with a homeowner who wants a long-lasting roof, we're going to give them 3 options, and that's when we go through the packages. What are my options? They're going to range from optimizing for cost all the way up to optimizing for longevity, okay? So as you move up the ladder, you're going to get a longer protection period with the warranties and the shingles and the products. And lastly is the price, of course, because they're going to be like, okay, so how much does all this cost? Then you're going to answer that, okay? So that's how you move up this presentation ladder. Phone call here. That's how you move up the ladder. So number 1, problem solution. Number 2 is process. Number 3 is people. Number 4 is packages and warranties. And number 5 is price. And that's how we move through that process. Okay, it's very simple. Once you start doing it, it is like very systematic in your mind. Okay, and then you get the transitions and you refine it over time, but eventually you'll have a very strong presentation where you are able to give them all the information they need to close the deal.